Welcome to the NBA Coast to Coast podcast brought to you by thelines.com. Coming to you from the West Coast, Josh Lander, joined by Nate Weitzer on the East Coast. And we're pressing on here on a Wednesday in the NBA. Bit of a smaller slate than yesterday, but still plenty to choose from here on Wednesday night. We are coming off a pretty rough Tuesday, at least in the best bets, 0-3. We're going to have to pick it up here in the best bets. We were sliding this week, but player props still holding strong. Only lost 0.2 units there. So a couple of things. Ball bounces your way, doesn't bounce your way. Big difference, obviously, but we'll look to make it a little bit better here tonight. Definitely want to check out the player props video we have up as well today. We got best bets in this video for you. Like and subscribe to that page and continue to follow along each and every weekday this season. Also head to thelines.com. Check out the great written content up on the site right now and use that odds finder tool that we're using every day to shop these lines and get the best bets available to us out there. Nate, let's go ahead and run into your first best bet here for Wednesday night.
Yeah, going back to fading the Bucks, we did take them on Monday a little bit. The player performance double didn't quite hit, but now they're on the road at Toronto, not facing a team that was on a back-to-back in Chicago, and there's no way I think they should be favored. Toronto plus 4.5 half unit, and the other half unit on the money line, if you will, plus 164. We saw this exact situation a couple weeks ago with a pretty offense-starved Nets team beating the Bucks straight up, because your offense might look bad against other teams, even the Wizards in the Raptors' last game, where they just kind of came out very sleepy and couldn't score in the half court. But this Bucks defense is making you look good in the half court. They are just not together. And I mean, it's more about concerns with the Bucks offense, especially in closing time. I don't know if Dame is not really healthy or he's just struggling to fit in with this group. I mean, we know they're struggling to work together, Dame and Giannis. It's very much alternating turns. We saw Giannis just go off in two without Dame. Dame comes back and just kind of hovered around in the corner for much of that game while Giannis continued his stuff against the Bulls. And it's just like, where is Damian Lillard? Is he going to touch the ball at any point? But yeah, I mean, now with Jay Crowder out, the defense is going to suffer a little bit. Yes, Toronto is probably going to be without OG and Gary Trent again. But yeah, I think they get up for these games, obviously. They played Milwaukee pretty tough, played Giannis pretty tough. And actually, Dame, I mean, minus 26 in the first meeting earlier where Toronto dropped 130. I don't expect that kind of output again from them. But he was a minus 24 the previous meeting with Portland when he had it cooking, when he had 30 points. So he's not very much excelling against this Raptors defense. The Bucks have yet to cover on the road. They have a 124 defensive rating versus 113 at home, giving up the most second chance points per game on the road. That's going to be trouble against the Raptors. They got out rebounded by 21 in the previous meeting. An unsustainable but encouraging 56% field goal shooting for those Raptors. So that indicates they are getting good shot quality, getting in deep. And it's hard to score on the Raptors. I mean, I kind of lean under here if you want to tease the total up to 232 and take an under along with Raptors plus 8. Toronto, I mean, fourth in defensive rating in the fourth quarter, third in net rating. Milwaukee's 21st in both departments and actually has the second worst rebounding rate down the stretch in the fourth quarter. So I take Toronto at home here. It's almost wrong team favored.
I agree. I was thinking about this last night as well, just, perusing these lines and seeing this one come out pretty early and going, we're still doing this, huh? We're still doing the Bucks are going to be favored on name recognition and Giannis and Dame's names, I guess. So, okay, that's fine. We got the Raptors at home. I like them in this spot coming off of a really bad game, like you said, and being able to, play a little bit better at home, like everything you said. I mean, you nailed it with this one, and I would have talked about this game if you hadn't. So I'll move on to my first pick here in the best bets, and that is the Kangs at the Lakers here, and I'm taking their money line minus 110. I believe you can get it minus 105 as well, so make sure you shop that as for the money line for the Kings. I think it's wrong team favored once again. Like, Anthony Davis might not play. This will be the Lakers on a back-to-back. You have a very healthy Kings team that's going to be playing with decent pace now that De'Aaron Fox is back. But even in their last game, when he came back and they beat the Cavs the other night, that was still a relatively slow game for them, like 98, 99 pace, not up around like 102 or 3 where they were often last season. So the Lakers also playing a little decent pace, but like this is going to be one of those things where old guys need more rest, man. And LeBron's already doing superhuman stuff for this team with his usage and the amount of assists and potential assists and everything that the usage that he has all over the floor. They're going to have to rely on that again tonight. I don't think they're going to be hanging around in the fourth quarter with the clutch player of the year back in De'Aaron Fox, who cooks this team, man. Like they haven't been able to guard point guards for a while, and that's going to continue to be the case here with one of the best offensive point guards in the league and someone who proved that he is kind of a walking offense. He kind of is a system in his own right in De'Aaron Fox because of the way that he plays and how effective he is at getting to the rim in transition and even in the half court. So 38-4, those were his splits in 4 matchups versus this team last year. And then earlier this season also cooked them again. And so it's really D'Lo guarding him now. Gabe Vincent guarded him earlier this season. He's now out, much better defender than D'Lo. And even Austin Reeves and Cam Reddish not doing very well defending the wing right now. Both of them, all 3 of these guys with D'Lo in there, all have 116 or worse as their individual defensive rating. It's a big reason that the Lakers aren't really like the sort of dominant defensive team that they were when they won the chip. That's for sure. And Dennis Schroeder is missed. I will definitely say that. And even Pat Bev, to a degree, is missed. Both of those guys were the guys guarding De'Aaron Fox en route to scoring 30 in those 4 games last year at least. So, like I said, the Lakers on a back-to-back here just don't like any of that for them. I think with the tired legs last year, they were 9-14 against the spread and straight up when they had a rest disadvantage, 6-6 on no rest with a -5 margin of victory because they were getting blown out in some of those as well and just kind of given up by the third quarter, which I honestly think is what we could see tonight. I think maybe I'm missing something with this spread being in favor of the Lakers.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost a pick'em spread, so it's not like the Lakers are getting that much creed here. But yeah, I mean, the back-to-back is huge. And the fact that you look at the Lakers, they lost 4 straight, a lot of them in decisive fashion before they beat a shorthanded Suns team, a G League Blazers team, and then what the game last night against the offense-starved Memphis Grizzlies.
Right.
So yeah, I think the Kings who have figured out how to play without Fox now get him back. Going to be pushing the pace, going to be trying to take advantage of their rest advantage here. Definitely think it's fine to just sprinkle on them on the money line here. This is pretty much the theme early in the season, right? Is like fade these old teams with name recognition that have like long-term postseason goals. It's November and they're just not bringing it early. And you should probably, the book would favor it the other way if people didn't recognize, LeBron and AD and just try to take the Lakers at home here. But the Lakers have not been good. They've been one of the worst offenses on top of the defensive issues you just mentioned. Yeah. So let's look at the premier Eastern Conference game here. I'm going to go under with the Sixers and Celtics. Maybe I'm stepping in it with just following the trend. The last 8-10 meetings, 7 of the last 10 have gone under. The last 5 in Philly have averaged 211 at a 95 pace. 4 of those would go comfortably under the 225, 226 it's hovering at right now. Sixers are on a back-to-back. They're, offensive numbers, defensive numbers inflated by playing Indy consecutively before this matchup. Indy will just, shoot the lights out, force you to play fast. Will that be tired legs? Will that hurt Philly's offense? Probably. Will they still be able to D up against the Celtics? Probably as well. They have enough length. Tobias Harris is playing great defensively. They've done a really good job on Tatum. In their last 4 regular season meetings, he's offense rating of 97, getting 19 points per game. And look, the pace has just been so slow the last times these teams have played. And Philly's definitely going to want to lean into that at home after that track meet last night, right? So 94.5 pace the last 4 regular season meetings, 91 when they were in the playoffs. Kristaps Porzingis is legit questionable, I think, with the knee contusion. And that makes you worry, maybe Embiid's going to go off. I think he's got to be a little tired after playing 38 minutes last night. You still have Al Horford to throw at him, who's done a good job in spurts against his former teammate. And the Celtics were able to keep him off the line in the last meeting, which is really the key for an under happening here, is just don't let JoJo shoot like nearly 20 free throws and slow this down. Maxey was inefficient in the last meeting here. It took him 27 shots to get 25. He had 19 points his previous 3 meetings with the Celtics. Granted, that's because Harden is taking over, and it's the Celtics on the road versus at home is just huge discrepancy right now in terms of their scoring. Offensive rating 112 versus 130, shooting 32% from 3 versus just insane numbers at home. And they can limit what Philly does. Philly's number 1 in fast break, number 2 in free throw attempts, Boston 4th defending fast break, 5th limiting free throws. So I think we see another, kind of hotly contested affair that slows down in the 4th. You might even want to take a live under if it starts a little faster, because the way these teams know each other, I think it'll get bogged down the stretch.
Interesting. Yeah, I definitely like the angle of it bogging down, as you say, down the stretch. I am not a glutton for punishment anymore by betting on this particular series. I definitely think you have a better handle on how these teams match up, and I'm going to let you definitely lead the way on that one, and definitely tail you honestly as well, because I like I said, really like the angle of things slowing down the stretch especially. So one game that will not slow down maybe at any point is the Wizards and the Mavericks, who are 2 of the fast breakingest teams and the 2 least likely teams to get back and stop the other team's fast break. So I'm going with the same game parlay of Luka to get 25, Kyrie to get 20, Dallas to win this game. On FanDuel, it's actually up to plus 126 on the money line there as well for Dallas. So 1 unit on that. I'm going to shout out a fellow capper, Crispy Cappin. Follow him on Twitter. He's really great. And he called this out where in the since Luka has joined the Mavs, they've had a few games where they've lost by 20 or more points. It's happened 12 times. In the following games, they are 12-0 straight up and 11-1 against the spread when they are the favorite next game. So they're definitely the favorite in this game on the road. Luka continues to crush them. They actually lost to this team 4 times in a row now. The Wizards, the Mavs have lost to the Wizards 4 times in a row. Different teams than we're seeing right now. Just also very funny. But Luka's averaging 33, 9 boards and 7 assists in about 37 and a half minutes at that time in those games. So I think that's just going to continue here. Like Washington's sort of just porous everywhere. When the best guard on the other team is really, like a ball dominant scoring guard, the way that Luka is capable of being, and Kyrie definitely will be when he has the ball, they're getting cooked. And it's from the wing. It's definitely in the paint as well. I believe Gafford's playing in this game, but when he is out, man, even like in the midst of games that he plays, when he's out, they are just a turnstile around the rim. They allow the most points per game, assists per game, worst defensive rating, fastest pace, allowing so many 3-pointers per game. I think it was about 15. So that's obviously what the Mavs are going to do, shoot the highest percentage of their field goals from deep. And they're going to have open looks from deep, coming off of a really bad loss for them. Like we said, they just got spanked there against the Pels in New Orleans. So yeah, Kyrie, also interesting for him in the 2 games so far this season. This actually dates back to his last 4, including last season. When he goes under 20 points, the following game always goes over 20 points, 4 times in a row, averaging 22 a game, and ups his shots as well, which is not that hard of a psychology to follow there with Kyrie, which is I'm not going to score less than 20 again like I just did. That's why I'm averaging 17 and a half shots per game in those games following where he doesn't get the 20 points. So he should be good for the 20. Luka probably good for the 30, but I just wanted to get this at plus money with their money line. So
yeah, it's a good conservative lean, because if it's a blowout, maybe Luka doesn't need 30. This total at 245 and climbing, I think opened at 240. People cannot get enough action on the over with these 2 teams. So it makes sense to just parlay some points with the Mavs, who completely lean on that backcourt. The Wizards are just atrocious defending the backcourt. And yeah, I don't think they can win this game. I mean, blowing that lead that they did at the Raptors, where they basically didn't score for the final 8 minutes. The Raptors were just like, all right, you got nothing else you can really throw at us. At this point, yeah, the Wizards are not going to be able to close a close game against a Mavs team that's playing really well.
Hilarious that the bad beats. I mean, hilarious and sad, obviously, for those who had like a 109.5 team total for the Wizards, who, like you said, had like 107 or whatever it was with 7 minutes left. So brutal loss there for that one. But that is all the time we have for you guys in this one. So continue to follow along. Check out the play of props that we have up as well in the other video on the channel. And until we see you next, happy betting.
Stepping up.